In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm SM Sith Lord. This is the bi-weekly Somnium Space build stream. Might be watching on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you are. Welcome to the show. I'll be jumping into some of those chats I mentioned in just a moment to catch up with any questions or comments that people have. I'm coming to you as this cool Pixar-looking avatar today. Maybe you've seen it before, but it blows my mind every time I see it because the range of emotions that this thing can do. Okay, anyways. The project for today is going to be building a web world. But not just any web world. It's going to be a web world that houses this very interesting builder object. Okay. There's all kinds of things coming together here. Let me talk about this a little bit. See this dumpster here? This dumpster is what's called a Unity SDK object. It's when you use the Somnium Unity SDK to build stuff in Unity that you export onto your parcel or into your VR world. If you have a big VR world that goes in Somnium here. However, this one is the flavor of it that you put on your parcel, and they're highly optimized, and they look very, very unique. So we are going to build something very, very unique as well that kind of is inspired by this, but not a replica of it. Okay, so this is the, in the open world here, I'm going to build a variation of this as a web world, and it's going to be bigger. It's going to be, have art in it. It'll still be an art gallery, but it won't look like this. It will look a little bit like this, but it's going to be a totally unique art gallery on this parcel that you'll see when you go visit it in web. Okay, let's get it done. So, Somnium Web Worlds. They are what we'll be working with today. So the first thing is to go to the Somnium Web Worlds GitLab here, right here. And this is where you'll find the instructions and everything on how to get your own web world going. I'm going to download the zip right up here. That's how you start off. And then after you have the zip downloaded, you go over to here. You name the zip. Do I need to name the zip? I will name the zip. It's going to be called Art Gallery World. Okay. Now that you got your Somnium Web Worlds SDK zip downloaded, this is going to be the project that you start from when you go to Play Canvas. So the objects I was just showing, they're from the Unity SDK, the Somnium Space Unity SDK. We are going to be working in the Somnium SDK, the Somnium Web Worlds SDK that is in Play Canvas for web. So you go to your projects page, you click import project. You see all my old, some of my old web worlds that I have there. You click import project, and then you go to your downloads, and you click on your zip that you just downloaded. It uploads. By the way, you can do this all on a free Play Canvas account. And now, let me name it in here. This is going to be called Art Gallery World. Okay. This is going to be what's called a holistic world. So this is what you get when you just start when you open up a blank Somnium Web Worlds template project. Let me jump into the correct chats here, or start jumping into the chats. And there we are. Okay. Right out of the gate, you can just click launch to start testing your web world. What it's going to do is you'll be walking around as like a dummy, this guy here. So, and you won't be able to zoom in or control your camera or do any of the other features that you can when you actually get your web world deployed onto a parcel. But you can test what you're building, and that's what we're going to be doing right now. Okay, so here's the thing. We want this art gallery to look awesome. I'm trying to build this entire build, and maybe I won't get the whole thing done in 2 hours. I probably won't. However, I want to get the whole thing done in like 4 hours, like 2 sessions. So 3D modeling the environment and all of the detailed props from scratch, that would take more than 4 hours. It would take more than 8 hours. But let's take a shortcut by jumping into Sketchfab. Maybe this would be a good shortcut for you. Maybe you'd rather build the 3D assets yourself in Blender or VR model them or something like that. We are going to jump into Sketchfab and get some free models that we could use to help build this art gallery. So surf with me over here and search for art gallery, or as I search for art gallery, downloadable. I'm just going to be looking at some free stuff right now for this build. Ooh, this one looks awesome. Whoa. Now I'm double thinking that free thing because that one looked pretty cool. This looks, let me check the cage on it. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. I like this so much. It has a standard license on it too. I think that I might grab this, and this will be the stream for today, is getting this all rigged up in a web world, getting art in there. That could be it. Let's see here. What formats does it come in? Formats. FBX, that's what we need for the SDK there. Getting up the stairs can be a little weird. I like this. Okay, let's look a little bit more, but that's looking really good. How about this one? This one's looking really good too, but it is pretty basic. I don't know if I'm going for basic. I kind of want an outdoor thing, and the cool thing about this one is it has an outdoors to it. Okay, I'm gonna roll commercial for a second. I'm gonna see if this is a good fit for us. And if it is, this may be the art gallery. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. Okay. The ramp I will probably not be needing. I'm going to blow this all out actually and put all new stuff in. Okay. I am going to need a skybox. So let's start getting the skybox ready. I'll use one that I used last week at some point. One of these starry things from Open Game Art. New folder, and the folder is Skybox. Okay, Skybox image is uploaded. So far, so good. You go over here, copy this over here. And see how this wants to treat us. The materials probably need to be set up again after I get the FBX uploaded. Hey, my internet is handling it. Cool. Ooh, well now my internet is struggling a little bit. Now we're good again. So after you upload it, it's going to cloud process. Then you got to check the assets that it uploaded. Okay, we're good. I'm going to spawn in the template for this thing and see how it goes. Oh no, not the model, the template. We'll drop it in right here at the bottom of our hierarchy. Wow, cool. Okay, let's do a couple things. Let's get a light in here that is not a point light, but is a directional light. So we're going to add a light that is a directional light. Let's bring it up a little bit. We'll bring it outside and we'll adjust its rotation. That's more like it. Okay. That one. The floor I want to keep so I don't fall through the floor. I want the collisions here. I'll actually make the collisions much bigger. Okay. Almost ready to start doing the textures and stuff. The spawn point. Let's move it closer. And let's look at these textures. Okay, I'm going to upload these textures. Into their own folder. And their folder is going to be called, well, maybe not their own folder, textures. And for now, we could use the placeholders. Well, the images aren't so important for the artwork. What's most important are the actual textures used on the environment. So let me grab those. Oh, this is going to be so hyper optimized. The lighting is baked in. Wait until y'all see how well this runs. Okay, I still need to do a step of optimizing because these are high resolution textures and I actually have to over optimize them. I got to aggressively optimize these things so they are really small resolution in the end. So first of all, excuse my internet as I upload a whole bunch of textures. That might lag me down a little bit. There we go. Second of all, it does mean I will have to process these textures and shrink them down again before I actually publish this to a parcel. but that's okay. We'll get it done. We'll get it done good, and then move on from there. Let's catch up with the chat here. How can I make videos like yours that have my avatar up here instead of my person on camera? Awesome. I'll talk about that in a moment as I'm setting up these materials. Jose, do you know how to pass that to the Somnium? Yes, the answer. It sounds like both of your guys' questions are related to the VTuber that I'm using, which is awesome. And yes, you can use this VTuber that I'm using in Somnium as your webcam source. And if you have a green screen like I do, you can even use it as your hologram in Somnium. The app that you want to use to do this, by the way, you can do, this is the cool Pixar character, but there's other stuff too. You can be like Skeleton Man for Halloween. There's actually lots of Halloween filters. There's this one. There's the this one. I can make a magical ball appear in my hand. Lots of them. The app is called Snap Camera. Go ahead and search for Snap Camera. I don't want to drop the link in there, but it's made by Snapchat. It's kind of like Snapchat on your computer. The cool thing about the app is it lets you put on these filters, and then you can use your filtered face as your webcam source. So it works in all apps, very much including Somnium Web, and you could look like this, even on the hologram if you have a green screen. Otherwise, you could look like this with any background. A lot of fun to play around with, for sure. Okay, the textures, let's make it happen. What's the ground here? The ground is a material that is not telling me which material other than it's material 62. I don't have anything called material 62. So let's look at what it's supposed to. Oh, first of all, let's refresh the world here and let's try to run around what we got. So everything should be whitewashed and no textures, you know, milk shape, I think they call it. Milk shape. Everything is just milky colors. How are we doing with the scale? How are we doing with the collisions? Well, my feet are stuck into the floor. That's not good. The scale. I think I'm huge. I think I am. I'm not actually huge. Are those doors? I'm not huge at those doors. I'm pretty huge. Those are small stairs. These are doors. I think that my feet are in the ground, but I'm not huge. Let's see. The front door. That's definitely a door. And that's supposed to be a human-sized door. So let's find the front door. I think it's over here. I'm a little big. Yeah, so let's adjust the scale a bit. So we're going to scale this up. Like so. Also the floor, let's make it so my feet aren't sunk into the ground so much. There we go. I'm going to have a couple different floor levels here, but this is a good base level for the grass or whatever this is. So I'm standing on the ground out here. I'm not sinking in. Cool, let's start getting these materials in. Now we're cooking with gas. Or electricity or something. What is this texture supposed to be? It's supposed to be some weird fuzz. Okay. Do we have any textures that are weird fuzz? Stone base. Oh, here we go. Ground base. That's what we got. Let's put that in here. And after I get this into here, that doesn't look right. That looks right. After I get this into here, I'm actually going to be turning off lighting. Now that sounds weird. It's like, why would you turn off lighting? Well, lighting, to optimize is the short answer. But the long answer is real-time lighting is actually really computationally intensive on devices, especially mobile. It uses your battery and it just makes your phone get hot and lag and stuff like that. The more lighting that you do. So Somnium Space works really well on mobile as long as there's not too many lights in the scene, real-time lights. However, no lights runs way better. So because the shadows are actually baked into this FBX that I'm dropping into here, I can completely turn off shadows on the world after I get the materials in, because it'll look weird without the shadows until I get the materials in. So this means the material here I'm actually going to set to not take any lighting. So when it says use lighting, I'm going to uncheck use lighting. Okay. Then I want to, instead of using the texture on the diffuse, I'll take that off. I want to use the texture on the emissive because it has lighting already in it. So if I put it on emissive on the correct UV sheet, now we have it looking exactly like it did in the original model. For example, how this thing's rendering. Cool, let's keep going. Okay, I might replace that with something that's higher resolution because that is a little weird looking, actually. It's not the best looking texture. The house is going to have better textures. Let's move on to the house. What does the driveway look like? It looks like concrete. It does. So let's see what kind of concrete materials we have to rebuild this emissive layer of the texture from. Stone base. Here we go. Road base color. Cool. Let's put this in there. All right, let's put it on UV1. Okay, let's go and make this not take lighting. Use lighting. Okay. Looking good, looking good. Moving right along here. Let's go to this. The outside wall. What does the outside wall look like? It looks like plaster. Okay. Can I find a texture with plaster to put onto emissive to get this texture in there? I bet you this is it. Yes, sir. Okay, and then we go down here and we say use lighting. Nope. All right. Looking good. Let's keep doing stuff on this side of the house. So what are these pillars? These pillars are stone. What are these, stone bases? Let's get an emissive on this stone base. Stone base. UV1. Don't use the lighting. Wonderful. This is coming together rapidly. I might just be, and it's already optimized a lot. How big are these textures actually? Before I say that. 1024. It's optimized enough for me to push this without having to further optimize it, although I might still further optimize it. But that's wonderful. Okay, here's the roof. Emissive. We got multiple roofs here, huh? We got roof in base color, roof main, and roof. What does the roof look like here? It's like shingles and brownish. Okay. Looks like this one. Yes. Okay. How about this trim? It's kind of brownish red. Huh? Do I have brownish red in here? Oh. Hey. This is called gray out. Cool, I know what material. They did say after all. There's gray out here. Awesome. Awesome. Woo! Alright. What does this say? Down here. This says blackout. Cool. So over here when I go to emissive, I'm going to put blackout. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. Running out of stuff that's missing materials almost. Well, we haven't gone to the inside yet. How about this glass? Glass. Okay, that's a good name. There is no glass, however, that's okay. We can add our own glass. All right. Let's do a refresh and see how it's looking over here. Might be a little bit too bright. I don't know. It might not be. Yeah, it actually adjusted pretty well here. House is looking pretty good. Pretty decently sized inside, although I still might want to scale it up a little bit more so people are smaller. Yeah, let's do that. See how that works out. All right, more materials. This skybox I uploaded, it's no good. This is like space. This house is not in space. So I'm actually going to delete this skybox and we're going to have to figure out a new cloudy skybox. It looks pleasant in daytime to put into here. How am I doing on time? Only 40 minutes into it. Wonderful. Okay, floor 01. What do we have for emissive texture on something called floor 01? Well, we got something called floor 01. Isn't that convenient? And then we do this to make it the right color, and then we do this to make it use the right UV channel, and then we do this to make it not use real-time lighting, and yes, good. Let's do some more. Terrace. What do you have on my terrace? Terrace. Cool. I love it when the names match. Makes it easy peasy. These undercarriages here. These are called Roof 01, apparently. What color are they supposed to be? They're supposed to be very brown and wood grain. Very brown and wood grain. Probably this one. This just strikes me as the outside one. Oh yeah, it says roof 1, roof 1. Yes, this has to be it. This has to be it. Too good for your home? That ain't it. Well, maybe that first one was it. It looks so weird, even in the original model, now that I think about it. Look over here. It's like not weird enough. Roof 01, huh? We only have so much roofs. It has to be that. It has to be that. Okay. Use lighting. Nope. Another thing that we have to click on for all these is, and I should do it as I'm going through here, we've got to uncheck receive shadows and use light map shadows and cast shadows, because we need to do none of those things. This is how we're going to be hyper optimized. Everything's pre-lit. It's pretty amazing. Here's whiteout. Okay. Let's fill these in. Oh, how do I pass the play canvas model to a Somnium Space web parcel? You do that through going to the parcel. Let me show you real quick. I might not get to that part until tomorrow, but I can show you what it's like. Let's see, 27 on. Did I close the documentation? The information down here is in publishing, hosting, and updating. So after you're done building the stuff in the editor here, then you click the button shown in the documentation there and I will do this tomorrow when I publish this one. You export it from here, and then you get a zip from there, and you have to upload the zip somewhere. You can upload the zip to your own web space, and you can self-host your web world there, and then you reference it from where you're hosting onto your parcel. Or if you don't have web space, you can use GitHub Pages, which are free to set up, and they offer you like free web space. There's some brief instructions here on how to do that. However, Ultralord found a good video and posted it in the Discord, that the Somnium web Discord, that has full instructions, like a whole video about how to set up the GitHub Pages to host your files. So after you get it uploaded either to your own web space or to GitHub Pages, then you go to the parcel and you go to the what menu is it? I'll show you in a second. Actually, I'll show you on 3388. Because as you can see, this one already has a web world on it. You have to log in. And then you're on your parcel. Your parcel will look normal the first time you log in. It won't look like a web world like mine does. This is the web world I made a week ago or so, by the way. The moving light and real-time shadows and all that. The kind of stuff that I'm not doing in today's world in order to be highly optimized. Did it in this one. Anyways, you go to the settings tab and you click parcel settings. I'm sorry, settings icon. Then you click parcel settings. Then this is where you paste in your URL of where your web world is, wherever it's hosted, whether it's your own site. I'm Sith Lord, so I just hosted this one on my own site. Or if it's GitHub Pages, such as the instructions in that tutorial video that Ultra Lord found will tell you. And you just paste the address in there and you click save and reload. That's what assigns your play canvas model to the thing. Now, there's different ways to get your model onto a parcel. I should have led with this. Okay, there's web worlds, which I'm making, and web worlds are pretty complex. It requires an external SDK, and you host the thing somewhere, and it's many models. It's real-time lighting, it's animation, it's all kinds of play canvas leveraged stuff. If you have a GLB and you just want to get a GLB onto your parcel, it's much easier. You do still need to host it, and GitHub Pages is still great for hosting for that regard if you don't have your own web space. But after you have a URL to your GLB, there's GLB slots, and GLB slots make it easier to. Oops. Ooh. I can't remember what parcel. I'm just going to go. The only parcel number I could ever remember is 3388. It's so easy for me to remember. And I can't show you the parcel slots here, so I'm actually going to do visit popular parcel. Here, I could show you the slots here. You have to log in also to set the slots, but you just walk over to where it says 3D slot. You click on 3D slot. It opens up the empty 3D slot thing. You paste in your GLB URL here. You choose whether you want it to be non-collide, whether you want it to use the visual mesh for collisions, which might be laggy depending on how detailed your GLB is. Or you could choose to use a separate collision mesh GLB. This is the best option. It takes the most setup. But to use this option, the _col.glb, you just make another GLB. You put it in, you host it right next to your visual mesh, but you just add _.col at the end. That way, Somnium knows to grab that one and use it as the collision mesh. And then you can have a highly optimized collision mesh if you do that. So you could have like a high poly shoe or something, I don't know. And then to make the collisions on it, you don't need to use the super high poly shoe, which could cause performance issues on some devices. You could use a special separate _col collision mesh that is super low poly, because collision meshes they don't really have to match the visual mesh as long as people can stand. They can't walk through them, and they can stand where they need to stand. It doesn't have to perfectly match the visual mesh, so it's good to do that if you can. Or non-collide is optimized, or visual mesh if you just need to test something out. Some changes you have to refresh your browser to take effect. Changing collisions is that. So when you set your collision thing on there and you position your GLB, you won't be able to collide with it until you refresh, because collisions are like that. This checkbox here, it uses the parcel origin instead of the slot. So right here, this is what the GLB slot looks like. There is a GLB here, although it's such a huge GLB, it looks like there's nothing here. It's actually the city. You see the city off in the distance, all those floating platforms? That's a GLB, a big GLB that's assigned to this slot. If you have a little GLB, like a shoe or just like an individual piece of artwork you want to show off, just putting it right there in the slot is good, because then all the slots are over here in front of your parcel, and it's kind of like you get this gallery in front of all your 3D models. Then you can walk into whatever you built in the builder, into the parcel. But sometimes people, such as myself sometimes, we like to like offset things or use the parcel origin to really like make it look like the GLBs are in the parcel instead of on display in front of the parcel. Okay. So yeah, if you're just trying to get your 3D model onto your parcel, GLB slots are the easiest way to go onto your web parcel. But now going back to the Somnium World stuff, if you want to get crazy with it, you would do what I'm doing. Now I'm not getting too crazy with it, right? Like I could have baked this all into one GLB. However, after I finish getting this looking the way that I want it to look, then I am going to start getting a little crazy with it. I'm going to be putting interactive objects in there, and I'll probably eventually import some animations so stuff can be moving around, and sound effects, and some real-time lighting if it makes sense. Right now it doesn't make sense, but if I add something else in here to kind of make it make sense, then real-time lighting can be turned back on it. So you have more, toys to play with when you're doing the harder mode stuff. But if you just need to get your model onto there, and if you can bake it all in Blender or wherever it's coming from, GLB, throwing it into a GLB slot. That's the way to go. As far as assigning the web worlds to the parcel, like I said, I'll probably get into that the next stream, but you do it similarly, not exactly the same, but pretty similar. Okay. I was working on a texture called White In. White In. It doesn't even look... Oh, that says wall in. It's not right. White in. There we go. This should be white out. Something weird's going on. Maybe I just read it wrong. That looks way right. That looks way right. Okay. If it was wrong, it wouldn't feel so right, man. I guess being dark on the inside is what they wanted there. Okay, what is this? This is wall in. So when we go to emissive, diffuse, wall in. Good, good. Turn off lighting. Make it all pre-lit. Wow. Okay. Roof in. Truck away here. Bingo. Use lighting. Also don't want to use lighting here. This is going to run so well. It's going to be nuts. It's going to load not too quick because these are high resolution textures, but after it loads, it will be running so quick. Stairs. Good. Wood in. You know, if you were baking this all into a GLB, you would do very much like what I'm doing here. In Blender or Cinema 4D or whatever your favorite app is. What was this? This was Wood In. The real power of the web worlds comes in with those extra features and the other interactive features like the web browsers and other upcoming templated interactive objects. What was this? I missed it again. Wood In. Wood In. Where are you at? Wood In. Cool. Ooh, a couch. Oh, a floor instead of floor. Floor 2, I believe, was it. White in. Fixed those windows that I didn't understand why they were so dark. I understood at the end. Bingo. See how it's flat? That's because there's absolutely no lighting being calculated on this, but you won't be able to tell after I get... Looks like this couch was from Unreal Engine. This on there. Yes. Normals. Will this be UV ones? Probably. You know what? When I have lighting turned off, the normals probably do nothing. Cool! The couch is there. Here's a wall that needs something. Black in. Background. This is looking pretty good. Let me get the new collisions in there for what's actually in the floor. Okay. How are we going to do collisions here? I could do mesh collider here, probably. Maybe I could. Primitive colliders are more optimized, so I'm actually going to set up primitive colliders along the floor here. Yeah, so the step. Let me get into the chat and drop this link on ya. There's a few steps there. You guys are in the YouTube chat. You know what? I bet you I could find this link on the other computer to make it work. And I will skip to that step. I think that I have time because all that I'm doing is optimizing this. So if you can stick around to the end of today's stream, I have like an hour left here, I will be publishing this. Somnium Space Web World Medium Post. Oh, I'm getting there. Okay. Here is the documentation. That's my screen name, by the way. That's me. Hello. This is the documentation for the that I pull up over here every once in a while. It has the instructions written out in case I go too fast when I get to it. But it's mostly just uploading it, hosting it, and then going and assigning it to the parcel. And we'll be doing that a little bit later. I am following. Well, I will be following the wiki because that step I actually do last. So you can build most of your web world before you do the steps of uploading it and referencing it onto the parcel. Very similar to assigning a GLB. So let's get rolling and get to that step. So let me make some collisions here on the ground. Like so. What do we want here? We want an entity. We'll call it a floor. And the physics component we want is a collision. There's one more thing I have to add to make this actually collide. That is in addition to the collision component, I have to add a rigid body component. Then we're good. I need to position it where I want it though. Hey. Okay, now I should be able to stand on most of this. Yeah. When I actually get into Somnium and assign this to the parcel, I'll be able to teleport up there, but I want to be able to walk up there too, so I'll probably make little ramps. Let's do that. But first, there actually literally is a ramp on this end. I guess that would be a good place to start. And I'm making the collisions, once again, I'm making the collisions out of primitives for optimization. So it runs better than complex meshes. Let's run around back and go up there. So, web worlds are like the Somnium web worlds are very much like the VR worlds. Sessions, what's up? Good to see you. So they're kind of like in certain regards they're like the VR Somnium worlds, in that they don't take up parcel credits. You are not restricted by parcel credits when you build your web world. You assign it to your parcel, and whatever you build is there, which is pretty awesome. And that's why there's a lot of possibilities in web worlds, in the VR worlds, also because you don't have these restrictions that you usually have to adhere to when you're in like the open world, like which you normally build on your parcel. For web, it's a little bit differently. So it is like the VR worlds in the regard that you don't have to worry about parcel credits. Now, it's different in web worlds in the size restrictions, because with web worlds, you're self-hosting. So you can upload to GitHub pages, or if you have your own web space, you can host on your own web space. But because you're self-hosting, there's not a megabyte size file restriction. However, you have to be conscientious of your visitors, because they might be on a really crappy phone connection, and if they have to download 100 megabytes of models to get into the world, it probably won't be the ideal experience for them. So even though you're not you don't have a credits restriction that you have to deal with, you still should keep optimization in mind, which is actually what I'm doing today by using a pre-lit world here. I'm trying to optimize not with file size, but I'm trying to optimize during runtime so I could run well on mobile in this web world. But you also want to think about file size, and I will need to do that too. Probably next week I'll be coming in and lowering the resolution on some of these materials so I can load quickly on mobile also. Well, yes and no. There's a few different things, a few different concepts here at work here. What you build on your parcel shows up when you build on your parcel using the builder. I think it's called the PC client. It's this builder here. What you build on your parcel here, that shows up in the Somnium's open world and in web, both. It's cross-platform. That's what you built on your parcel. So that is there by default. Okay. However, you can on your parcel. So first, I'm going to talk about Unity worlds. Okay. On your parcel, you can put a portal to your Unity world, and when you walk into your portal, it takes you, it whisks you away into a whole new immersive world, which is your Unity world. And it's huge. It's got all kinds of stuff in it. You don't have to, because you don't have to worry about parcel credits there. Okay. Now let's look at the web worlds. In the web worlds, you can visit the parcel like normal, and you'd see what you built in the builder. However, if you wanted to see if you went to your parcel and you assigned your web world to it, there's two ways that you can assign it. You can assign it in the way where when people join your parcel in their web browser, they are immediately whisked away to this other world, like this house that I'm building, or anything else you could imagine that you could build as a web world. You could set up your web world so when people visit your parcel in a web browser, they're instantly whisked away to this. Or the second option, it's called, this one is called a holistic world. It completely whisks the user away to a new location, as if it's not even the same place, right? Kind of like jumping into a portal into a VR world. The other option for web worlds is called Augment World. An Augment World gets added to what you have on the parcel already. I was building an Augment World on Monday. I haven't finished it yet though, so I don't have an example right now to show you. But what it does is it literally just spawns your world on top of your web parcel. So what you normally see when you go to your parcel in a web browser, that's still there, right? So it doesn't whisk you away. So you still have what you built there. But in addition to that, right on top of it, it spawns the web world, and you can have like a whole city around your parcel build, or a spaceship going around your parcel build and stuff like that. So you can choose to be a holistic world where people get completely whisked away, or an augment world where it augments what you have built on your parcel. It spawns it right on top. Those are your two options for web worlds. Oh yeah. That's always it's always nice to have something super unique when somebody visits in the web world, and also something that like might specifically target web and mobile platforms and stuff like that is nice to have. Like I'm doing here. I'm specifically targeting mobile with this house because it's so optimized. Okay, everything is looking good here. I'm walking around on the floor in here. This is looking good. I do need a few more floor spaces in here, and then I can think about my walls. Right here, I fell down through, so I need to fix that. I don't want to fall through the ground there. I don't want to fall through the ground anywhere under normal circumstances. Okay. Good. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, I'll speak that out. I typed it out because Sessions is watching from work. He can't hear me. But the Augment Worlds, they merge together. The Holistic Worlds, they just whisk you away completely, so they're not merged together. They're both at the same URL, so you just go to your parcel in a web browser to access them, whether it's an Augment World or a Holistic World. In the future, we are going to be having the option to, instead of people immediately being whisked away to the Holistic World, it'll be more like it is on the option will be more like it is on the VR client, where you go to the regular parcel and there's a portal on there that you walk through to go to the other world that's attached to it. But right now, it's just one URL, and it's either Holistic or it is Augment. Okay, we're looking good here. We get a little bit of collisions going on the walls. How are we doing on time here? Pretty good. These stairs, I don't imagine these stairs being walkable, but I'm going to try something. Let's grab these stairs. Let's assign a collision to these. We're going to use Mesh Collider, though, because it's such a complex shape here. They're squares, so it's not going to be too bad, but we want to add a collision and a rigid body. But our collision is not a box. Our collision is a mesh, not an mesh, it's a mesh. And the mesh is called stairs. There. Okay. Now, maybe I could walk up. It's working. Holy crap. It's working. I walked up the stairs. I shouldn't sound so impressed or so surprised, right? I am impressed. But I shouldn't be surprised. Okay, that works really well. Let's make this solid up here. Okay, this is another instance where if I made this out of primitives, I would have a really hard time cutting that hole out of it. So I'm going to do this one with a mesh collider. And this mesh is going to be called floor 2. Woo! Okay, now I should be able to stand on it up there. Uh-oh. All right. I don't know about this image hanging right here. I'm not a big fan of that. It is what it is for now. Okay, that collider works. Some of the other more complex collider stuff I might just do with the mesh collider as well. I did the floor with the primitive collider. A really good thing about primitive colliders compared to mesh colliders are engines are better at putting you on the mesh collider, not putting you inside of the primitive collider, not putting you in, putting you on top. I'll just back up 2 steps there. Okay. Engines are better at putting you on top of primitive colliders as opposed to inside of the collider, because it's a volume when it's a primitive, so it knows what inside of it versus outside of it is. And if you're inside of it, it just pushes you until you're outside of it. However, with collision meshes, it's different because it doesn't really know what's inside and what's outside. Like the floor up there, it has this hole in it, and then it has some surfaces on the top, but it doesn't have any bottom surfaces or side surfaces. It's kind of hard to walk up those stairs backwards. So it doesn't have this concept of inside and outside. So things you stand on, if you can help it. Well, if you can help it, everything as a primitive collider is best. However, it would take a long time to make all these weird shaped walls as a primitive collider. And let's just use a mesh collider on it. Long story short. Over here, all these walls, yeah, these look pretty good. Let's make these all a mesh collider. And what I'm doing here is very much like that checkbox when you're uploading GLBs, where it's use visual mesh as collisions. It's kind of similar to that, what I'm doing. Wall in, when I do the mesh colliders. Wall in, okay. Awesome. These things, if they're not too nuts, I would also like to make solid. Stone. I think that's all that I want to make solid. I don't think I want to make these pictures solid. And I don't need this physics ball. I don't need this point light. I think we're pretty good here. Yeah. I probably want to add a fence going around this thing. I'll do that with primitives. Yeah, and then let's push this onto the parcel so we can check it out together. Sounds good. And if I hit the door, I hit the door. There's no art in it yet. About the art. Okay, so I could get crazy with putting the art in Play Canvas here, and it would be highly optimized if I did that inside the Somnium Web Worlds SDK in the Play Canvas editor here. If I built everything in here, it could be highly optimized and load real fast. And I'll probably do that. Yeah, and there's no real alternative because I'm trying to put art in these really weird places here. So I'll be doing that next session probably. And to do that, you can either upload your things as your images as textures, which I'll probably do here because that's highly optimized. But if you wanted to be more dynamic about it, you could spawn them as media objects. Now, the current version of the Somnium Web Worlds SDK, it only has web browser objects as a prefab, but very soon it's going to be having media objects so you can put things like NFTs on the wall in web worlds, just like you would in a regular parcel build. Okay, these are all set up to be individual images. It would be very easy for me to load this up with artwork. I think that I might do that. Pretty sure I am going to do that, actually. The thing is, finding artwork to put in here, that's going to be harder. It's going to be a lot harder. And I might upload just a placeholder image, because I really want to just demonstrate putting it on a parcel and then what it's like to walk around it on the parcel. Oh, we're not done here. We need a skybox. This is nothing without a skybox. Let's see what Open Game Art has for us. Ooh, clouds. Wonderful. Let's get cloudy with it. The blue one. I like the blue one. Okay. These are JPEGs, 1024 by 1024. I'll take it. I don't need to pre-process those to get them in there. Awesome. Let's go ahead and see what happens if we pre-filter those cube maps and then assign it to our camera. That looks good. So by pre-filtering the cube maps, we actually made the lighting, normally the lighting would impact things. I think that it did here too, because I wasn't unchecking the environment variable here. Well, first of all, that should be like that. Yeah. Use skybox. Yeah, I don't know if it's even impacting these actually, because the lighting is turned off so hardcore, but it looks like such a good fit. That's awesome. And you can see the skybox did impact some of the real-time lighting things, like the avatars, which is good. That means that when people are walking around here with shiny avatars, you'll see the pretty much representative lighting on them of the skybox. Okay, this is cool. The texture out here, I am very not much a fan of. So let's go to gametextures.com. Let's get stones. They have these white kind of stones here to match. That looks good though. I think I'll go with this instead of stones. Now this is a 2K texture with all kinds of material shaders. I would want to optimize this before I really publish this. I'm probably not going to optimize it before I publish it today though. Grass and stones. Excuse my lag as I upload these 2K textures. This is gonna kill my shadows if I do what I have in mind. This shadow, only this shadow. I just need to contemplate if it's okay to kill just this shadow. At times like this, you wish light maps were stored on us separately than diffuse. But apparently it was all baked. I don't know if I could use my rocky grass is what this boils down to. Even though it would look so beautiful. I don't think that it's doable. It looks right here, but over in the back is when it's going to get weird with the shadow just ending. So alas, I think I'm going to have to stick with those cubes right there. I'll just delete these textures I just uploaded. Let's get a wall going around this though. And so this is where I would come in after we got the structure there, and I'd add in all the bells and whistles. I'll probably be doing that next stream. To wrap up this stream, I'm just going to try to pack this up and put it on a parcel ASAP, even with just blank art in there, art placeholders. For now, let me shut up and do it. Entity, wall. Let's just make this thing a 3D model of a box. And this box will have colliders on it. Because this box is going to be keeping the player in the bounds. In the bounds there. Okay, I have this directional light. I want to make it match the actual light. Just like that. And this, we clicked on a little bit. Okay. Okay, I might be ready to publish here. Almost. Let me go to these things, and I'm going to basis compress all these. Basis compression is huge. What it's doing right now is going to save so much on transfer time, and also in-memory usage, believe it or not. So very cool. I'll let it do that. These, all basis compress as well. Didn't end up putting any artwork in yet. Okay, as soon as these finish, I think that I'm good to pack. I'm going to put the Somnium Space logo on all these things so they're not blank. Who likes blank canvases? An artist, maybe, but let's get the Somnium Space logo everywhere. There's a good one. I'm going to have to open up my image editing program to do this justice. Justice! That's not right. there's a texture issue on those rocks there. Just as I thought, defuse wasn't set down. Uh-oh. The image is the other thing I'm working on in parallel here. Art placeholder .jpg. Okay. Upload that. And then I will be just about ready. To upload this to a parcel. Good. That looks so much better than the blank canvases. And it will look better in the screenshots too, because I'm telling you, when you're making something that looks completely unique like this, and especially if you're standing in it as like a Ready Player Me, people aren't going to know where the hell you're at. You got to say like, oh, this is Insomnium. But if there's all these screenshots are here, then they'll be able to tell. Or if you sport the classic Somnium avatar, you know, the one that everybody can recognize from the old days, that would get the point across also about where you're at. He doesn't wear suspenders. I don't know why I did that hand gesture there. But, you know, the classic one. Not classic like suspenders, but pretty classic. There's some portrait ones here. How frustrating. Oh, it's okay. It's not too bad seeing this one squashed. Almost made another texture there. Okay. Run in there, get a quick look at it. Looks like everything, the timing is going to work out pretty dang well for me to get this thing out and uploaded within the next few minutes. It's going to be so, except for the download size for all the textures, it's going to be so mobile friendly. And for the download size of the textures, I don't know, I'll have to work that out. Somehow. Lowering the resolution of the textures is pretty much the only way. Okay, so let's get to the publishing. Step one is, now I'm going to be publishing to my own web server, but I just thought right now, I should next time publish to a GitHub Pages. I should go that route, just to demonstrate that route of what it's like to upload to the GitHub Pages and all that. Instead of my own web server, because not everybody has their own web space. But today I will be uploading to my own web space. So I will show you most of the steps here, and then the actual uploading step I'm going to do on my other computer that's tied into my web space. And then I'll come back to this computer. I'm not actually going to go anywhere. My other computer's right here. I'll come back over here. I'll go to the parcel in web, and then I'll assign the thing to it. Yeah. Okay, over here we want hey, first try. Okay. Now over here I'm going to export this thing. It automatically saves, so we're good there. Oh, before I export, here are some of your customization options. If you click on the Web Worlds prefab. Now, the Web Worlds prefab is the only object in your hierarchy that is absolutely necessary for your web world to work. It is. It has some prefab in it, which isn't too important, but it also has the web world type, so you could choose holistic or augment, and allowed parcels. If you want to only let your web world work on your parcel, or you and your friend's parcel, or you and your colleague's parcel, or something like that, you can do that by defining them here. Let's say, oh, I got 3 parcels I want it to work on. I want this to work on 338, 8981. These are made up numbers, and 9989. Then this web world will only work on those parcels, no other parcels. Okay, holistic worlds. Okay, let's build it. There's only one scene, so you really don't need to check anything on here. But out of habit, I check the select all scenes and I check optimize scene format just because it says optimize. And I'm like, why not? Download that. It's going to take a second to prepare and then it's going to give you a zip. All right. Download my zip, which is called Art Gallery World, because that's what I named the project. And when I go over here to downloads, and I take the Art Gallery World, I'm going to put it on my shared drive. Oh, wait, actually, before I do that, I'm going to unzip it. There, these are the files that you have to upload either to your GitHub or to your web server, okay? Index.html is the one that's going to actually be loaded. And if you're new to how like websites and stuff work, index.html, you don't need to type that. It automatically will load /index.html for any URL that you type into the box if it exists there. So when you actually are adding the URL to your web world, you don't need to put that. You just need to put, like, I'll show you in a second after I upload it. So on my other computer, I'm going to upload those files. And I'm going to upload them to... What's it called? It was called Art Gallery. I didn't paste it over there yet. No wonder it's not there. I'm going to cut it from this computer and paste it over here. And then it will appear for me here. Ah, yes. Okay, hold on to your butts as I upload this. Excuse the lag. There shouldn't be too much lag though, because I'm actually only uploading, what, 20 megabytes? Something tiny. Even unzipped, it's 16 megabytes. That is so good. It's going to be served over gzip, which means that the files are going to be even smaller when people go to when people load up your web world to access it, which is awesome. It means that this web world should open pretty dang fast when I go to it in a minute. It should go pretty dang fast. Okay. This one? This one is 2701, but I should also go to 3388 and have them race. Okay, I'm going to sign it on 3388 right now. I'll just swap it out with this one to show you how it's done. Okay, the first step is you just go to the URL that you uploaded it to make sure that it works when you access it directly. Is that what I called it? That's not what I called it. I called it... Okay. So when you go to it directly, it's actually going to be just like it was in the test. You're going to derp it around as this default guy. You won't have any controls or anything. Okay, but it works. So copy the URL up here. All right. So we confirmed that our web world works when we access it directly. We'll go to our parcel. We'll click on the cog and then adjust parcel settings. Let me go into Notepad. So I can save some of these URLs. I can change them back later. Here's the new one. The new one is Art Gallery World. So I'm going to set it as a custom holistic world. Custom holistic. I'm going to paste in the URL there. Okay, I'm going to click Save and Reload. And with that, did you see how fast it loaded in also? Hell yeah. walking around as my Ready Player Me. Okay. Looking good indeed. Let me do an emote. All right. There we are. That's going to be the stream for today. Well, you know what? I got 10 minutes. That's not enough time to come in and do the details, but I'll just talk about some of the details that will be happening next time. You know what? I think I still have an object in my world, which is making it act a little weird. Okay. Next time, I'm going to be putting the artwork in here, so getting actual artwork to put on those paintings. I'm going to be replacing the next session I do on this particular build. I don't know if it's going to be on Monday or maybe next Friday or something like that. Going to replace that wall with a nicer wall. I'm going to perhaps add water, a whole big thing of ocean out there, maybe. I don't know. That one, not so sure about. And, 3D models. There'll be other 3D models I'm going to add to here that will make things look nice. Well, I'll have to be careful about the 3D models I add because I don't want to make it not work well on VR and mobile. But things like a car parked in the front, maybe some other yard props like trees, a bush tree or something. And on the inside, I don't know. It's pretty nice as an art gallery on the inside because it's nice and spacious and all that. And that's what you want in an art gallery. So, there's the process for putting your web world onto your parcel and uploading it, or the process of putting it on your parcel and making it publicly accessible like that. I uploaded it to my own web server. So if that's the part that you really want to see, I will be demonstrating uploading to a GitHub Pages account next time. I'll be sure to have that prepared to demonstrate for everybody and maybe cut a VOD or something of it. Also, keep an eye out for updates to the Web Worlds SDK. We're on version, it says in here what version we're on. We're on version Alpha 1.0.0. That's going to turn into Alpha 1.0.1 one day soon. So when that happens, there'll be more prefabs for you to spawn in there. There'll be bug fixes and the update process of updating one of your web worlds from the old version to a web world of the new version. Super easy. Because the only thing in your hierarchy that matters is this web worlds prefab thing. You just replace that with the new one, and you're good to go. You're updated after that. So. When the next update comes out of Web Worlds, I'll demonstrate that process. But definitely on Monday, I'll be demonstrating GitHub Pages process and how to upload via that and get it on your parcel, the whole shebang. Okay, everybody, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys on Monday for the next stream later on. I'm going to take some screenshots of this in the meantime and post it over to the Twitter and Discord and stuff.